Yeah, thank you. Daniel, look, Ellen Road has been a fortress for you this season. So how do you begin to approach this next run of matches, 3 away from home on the bounce, starting at Chelsea?
Yes, still the same game, same rules, 11 versus 11, 2 rectangles on each side, and you try to score a goal. So, of course, you feel always more comfortable at home, and especially with our second-to-none supporters, but still the same game. And for that, we travel also with confidence, with belief, and we know if we perform well, then we also have a chance on the road.
I know a lot's been made of the half-time at Man City, the team talk, the tactical switch, but I guess the next match, the win against Chelsea, was obviously one where we saw the real benefit of that. Do you look back at that game before Christmas as a pivotal one in your season so far?
From promoted side, each and every win is a pivotal game. Was no turning point or nothing that changed too much. We had really good performances before. We had wins before, at home, on the road, and also after several wins. So one thing is for sure, it was a top performance from our side and also a fully deserved win. We won each every statistic, and days like this don't come around that often, that you are able also to dominate one of the big names in this league and to win a game in this way. This is also why we worked so hard in the last 2.5 years, also to be back on this level. But I think this result also won't help us tomorrow, so it's the other way around probably. Then the home team is even more motivated, also like to find a solution and also to show reaction perhaps a bit to this game, and for that we even have to be more on it. It's a different game right now, a different situation, away game, different manager, slightly adaptations also in their style. So for that, I don't look back too much.
I don't know if you do look at the relegation picture, because it feels like we ask you about this every week. Every week you seem to get positive results, as do West Ham. It's very tight down there. Do you have to almost reassess any points targets, because the form being shown by those teams is certainly something. There's consistency to the way you're picking up points?
Also, doesn't matter if I change anything in my assessment how many points we need. So it's not like if we speak about whatever we need 38 points. It's not like if we would achieve 38 points, we want to stop winning points. We want to win as many points as possible anyway. And for that, so in general, just by all data and statistics, you would say if you have 1 point average per game, you have a really good chance, and normally you will stay up in this league also for the next year. And if it's one out of this whatever 20 seasons where you need even more points, then we have to win more points. So we look in each every game also to win as many points as possible anyway. So for that, I'm not too addicted or not too concentrated on doing too much math. I'm more concentrated on playing good football games and adding a few more positive results.
Thank you.
Hi Daniel, how likely is it that Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Ilya Gruev are available for the game? Because they look like they had a few knocks between them after Saturday.
Yes, like it is at the moment that both seem to be available. Dominic was struggling a little bit with illness, but I hope it's not too bad, and I hope he is available. So in terms of knocks or whatever, or muscle injuries, there's nothing. Also, Ilya is tough. Bad news with Pascal Struijk. He will definitely miss his game. He has got some problems after the game with his hip flexor, and the turnaround is a bit too quick, so he will definitely miss his game. Anton Stach will also be back. Then probably just for the Villa game. So they both will definitely miss the game. Apart from this, I hope to have everyone available.
Ilya Gruev, you talked about at the weekend. Yeah, a really good game. He's evolved a lot this season, clearly, Daniel. What have you worked on with him particularly? Where has he improved the most?
Not too much individually. Ilya is always and was always a very reliable player for us. So you always get a 7 out of 10 performance from him. Obviously, he's a defensive midfielder by nature, and it's important to be the glue and to be the balance. So together with Isna Badu quite often then in the middle of the park, and give a bit more freedom for our more offensive thinking players. But he's also capable to be there with a high passing accuracy and also can set up our attacks. Of course, he plays a bit deeper than normally. He's not too much involved in goals and assists, so that's of course a bit more our offensive thinking players. But he has a really, really good defensive awareness, is tactically always spot on, covers each and every game more than 12K, and helps us also with his reliability also in the passing. It's not that often that he shines and also in the offense with goals or assists, but even better that he's done the other night, and for that, important player for us, also important player to go forward.
Daniel, you explained why Facundo Buonanotte wasn't in the squad the other day, but Dan James was the benefit of your decision. How pleased were you with his contribution, and has he surprised you at how quickly and how well he's come back?
Yes, it's good that we have him back. So meanwhile, since 2 weeks back in team training, obviously he was out for, I think, whatever it was, 8.5 weeks or whatever. So relatively long, and normally you need also a bit time, especially also due to the fact that even before it was more like an on-off season in terms of injury, and even the end of the last season was a bit like this. But DJ is a very experienced player, knows also his body, meanwhile, knows exactly what he has to do, has looked after his body, especially during his rehab, a lot, and came back in a good shape. Of course, he needs a bit team training, but right now, each every day together with us on the training pitch is beneficial, and I think he looked quite sharp in training before. This was the reason that he was involved in the matchday squad, and he also looked quite sharp. Also offensive-wise, going forward with his pace, and created 2 or 3 dangerous situations. So it's good to have him back, and to have this type of player also back as an option, and we're all happy. And hopefully he right now can stay fit and can show what he's capable of.
And has Facundo responded in the way that you want him to respond as well in the last few days?
Yes, was not too much. We had the training session obviously on Saturday morning with a smaller group. Proper session. Also yesterday was more or less like a light session, and also tactical preparation. Was not that you could impress too much in the training session, but Facundo is a top guy, and we're all happy that we have him here. And for that, he reacted in the way we expected.
And it's Chelsea, of course, where he's had some experience this season. They are different, Daniel, and I know Cole Pond would have taken the headlines at the weekend, but what's the main difference that you're noticing now under the new manager?
I don't want to compare too much, because I'm also always loyal to my colleagues, and you also feel when once a colleague loses his job, and has also done a tremendous job before. What you have to say, under Liam, they had really good results recently. It's definitely a fact that they just I think lost more or less the Carabao Cup games against Arsenal. Apart from this, just win after win after win. Didn't matter if it was on Premier League level or on Champions League level, so they're back fighting also for the Champions League spots, and for that we are respectful, especially in an away game, especially in the game where we won the first leg, and they will try to also show reaction a bit to this. We don't have to speak about the individual quality of the players that they have. Very promising group of players with backs of potential, and once they're on it, it could be also a difficult game and difficult night. But we travel with respect, but also aware that we have also the tools to bring our strength on the pitch, and if we do so, then we don't fear anyone, and we have a chance wherever we go.
Hello again. Can I just check as well about Lucas and Yaka? I get that they were both on the bench again at the weekend but didn't come on. Was that you managing them, or you just didn't need them as such? How are they both in terms of where they are fitness-wise now?
No, just a reaction on what was needed. Obviously, Lucas just had 2 sessions with us before the game, more or less a day before the game, and the morning session on the game day, what we also had. And he looked sharp, I had to say, but due to the fact that we were in lead, I didn't want to take too much risk with him. And also we needed then Dominic more or less during the whole time on the pitch, also with his strength in terms of defending set pieces, defending crosses in the last minutes. Nottingham played with many crosses, so for that I didn't want to take Dominic, probably our best player in the air, out with Yaka. he was out, I think, for nearly 3 weeks and had just 3 training days with us, and for that it was more or less, the natural thing. You don't change too much on the centre back position normally during the game, and then for the last minutes, I brought Sebastian Bonneau on, who had recently more minutes and was a bit more in it, and I didn't want to bring a player in who was out for quite a while into such a difficult period of the game, but. Yes, both are available, both are back. It's good that they've spent 3 more days right now with us on the training pitch, and each and every day helps Lucas and Jaka also to be available.
And you've had mixed results, I'll say, against Chelsea in the past, both here and at your former club as well. I won't talk too much about the game when you were in charge of Norwich City at Stamford Bridge, and perhaps more recently about last year's results for Leeds United against Chelsea. But I watched your post-match interviews on both of them, and your emotions and reactions were pretty much exactly the same. I appreciate these all know you much better than I do. But have you always been that person that treats adversity with positivity in the same breath?
No, the fire is burning inside, and I'm a pretty emotional person. If you would ask the players how I am in the dressing room, sometimes I think they would admit it. But if you want to be a manager on this level, you can't jump around on the sideline or in the press conference, and to be over emotional. Players on this level need a proper leader, also where they know they can trust him and he stays balanced and calm. And I have to take mindful and reasonable decisions, and for that I can't allow myself that I burst out too often anyhow with my emotions. Sometimes during the game it happens, and you can't take it away. But it's important that after the game, before the game, during the game, you are concentrated and focused, and the players are emotional anyway. And if you play for Leeds United, for such a passionate club, though, it never works if you have a coach who can't handle the heat. And you have to stay cool, and you have to stay balanced, and you have to help the players. And for that, if you then react too driven by the emotions, it's I think quite normal. And also when you work a bit longer in this business, and then against the big teams, you have mixed results. So to have mixed results is the best that you can say if you play this sides, because you can't always beat Man City, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, whatever. The only team I've played against where I never have lost and just have wins, and worst results, the draw is Bayern Munich anyhow. So 2 games, 1 win, 1 draw. It's the only giant where I've never lost against. So, but that's the only topic. So I think it's quite normal to have mixed results.
Thank you.
Hi Daniel, what changes, if anything, if a player like Pascal with such responsibility in the build-up, if he has to come out, does anything change in the way you play and build up?
Yeah, the worst thing is that you miss a player with a red-hot form, and it's always the players who make more or less also your performance. And of course, Pascal was a rock in the last weeks, and of course it's a pity that he's not available for this game. Of course, he's also a bit more or less as a natural centre-back, the only left-footed centre-back. If you play then with 3 at the back, it makes a little bit of a difference. And of course, if you, for example, play a right-footed player there, you have a bit different passing angles, and also his strength in the air. Also in the last game, he won so many headers. It's quite important. Also offensive-wise, of course, it changes everything a little bit, but not like that we have to change our whole approach. And for that, not ideal to have him not available, because the turnaround wouldn't be this time around from Friday to Tuesday that you have to rotate normally too much, because you have at least 4 proper nights to prepare. So it's a shame that this injury keeps him out, but on this level it happens. Also sometimes key players are not available, and we need to find some good solutions.
How long can it take for a player to grasp fully your processes and the things that you want to do? Because you talk about every player needing an adaptation period when they come in. So how long can those periods be, and how do you teach them?
Depends on if you have experienced player, it's sometimes a bit easier. If you have a player who comes full of confidence and is full rhythm, Anton Stach, for example, he has played more or less each every game last season for a Bundesliga side. It was already there in top form. It also helps if you have a player who comes in after injuries or whatever, after a difficult spell. It could last a bit longer. Then depends also on the personality of the player. It's always a bit difficult to predict. So normally you could say the more experienced a player is, the better period he has, the easier it is for him to adapt. And sometimes it goes quicker than expected. We had this Skabi Gudmundsson with Anton Stach, but already experienced players who have played top seasons last season, and sometimes it lasts a bit longer. It's difficult to say.
How is Jaka doing with his recovery? Is he up to speed? Would he be ready to play tomorrow night in theory?
Yes, looks good. Meanwhile, he's nearly a week then back in training. So each every game helps, and for him, he has played also before the injury many games in a row. This also helps. It's always a bit more tricky for a player like DJ, for example, when he has more or less 5 or 6 months in a row without regular playing. It always helps when you have had a spell of several performances in a row, also on a really good level, and Jaka's back looks sharp, and each every day helps.
It was a real pleasant surprise to see Lucas Mecha back in on Friday night in the squad, because I know you'd cast some doubt on it, so a big boost. And we'll remember how well he played in the last game against Chelsea in that front two, and as we've said before, you've had limited opportunities to maybe try that again since. And is there any temptation to sort of go back with that, given how successful it was in the previous Chelsea game, or is that too basic?
No, Lucas is always a topic. I went a bit away from my principles that after being out for a while, then normally 1.5 sessions that he had is normally not enough to be already back involved in the squad. But I have to say, I was a bit surprised that he was capable to train one day before the game. But he looked so sharp anyhow. So like we did some sprints with shooting and also competitive game, and it felt like, okay, there's no holding back, or he was enjoying himself. He felt well in his body, and also like, then the morning on the game day also, it's just a light session, of course, anyhow, but he also looked sharp, and for that I decided, okay, I want to have him. The last time he was involved, he scored the winner at Elland Road, and I want him for this important Nottingham game, just perhaps to have him available for 15-20 minutes in case we need a goal. Yeah, because especially with strikers, it is sometimes like this, and for that, I decided to take him straight away back. Of course, for him to start the game was not a topic for the last game day, but of course he's more like a striker, also a central striker by his nature, but can also play a bit the wider role. Has played it also for us. Has played together with Dominic, and it's always an option. Perhaps not each and every game to start in this way, but also during a busy schedule right now, was like the game on Tuesday. Then we have also another game then on the weekend. It's good to have him back, and also you could see that he plays with and trains also with confidence, and definitely good to have options back. Yes.
Daniel, it's been a feature of the season that lots of individuals have contributed at different times. What does it say about the group that players like Ilya, like many of them, have been able to come in after a period of not playing for a while and perform so well?
Yes, with Ilya particularly, he has also played many minutes in the games before, but it's always for each and every player, more or less like on a Premier League season. Like for a team, there are always ups and downs, and it's quite normal that you sometimes shine a bit more, and then you have a bit more difficult spell. So the main thing is just to make sure that you deliver with the best possible consistency. And you have to say we have more or less used each every player already of our group, and this is what I also like, the importance of each every player. So all our wingers have started games, all our centre-backs have started games, all our midfield players have started games. Everyone was already praised for some performances, sometimes criticized. It's just important that you stay level-headed. Yeah? When I think about Dominic, for example, everyone is singing his praises in the beginning. Yeah, he missed a few chances, was a few games without a goal, and many doubts, and he had a record run of games, back-to-back games with scoring. Then perhaps also 2 or 3 games without a goal. Right now he scores again a goal. So it's always ups and downs, and this is more or less for each and every player. The thing is, stay on it, show consistency, never be too high after a good performance or lots of praise, never be too down when there is a difficult spell. And this is quite important, and this is also how we act.
And you came across Liam a couple of seasons ago with Hull. Did he strike you then as someone with the qualities to be a really top manager, Liam Rosenior?
First of all, I came across when he was a pundit, anyhow, and I always thought, okay, it's more like his judgments about games and what he said about the game made a lot of sense, anyhow. I quite liked it. And then it's more like he had the natural role, first of all, as an assistant manager, then he overtook at Hull, and I liked the way he set up his team. So they played proper football. It was not easy to find solutions also against it. We found solutions during these times, and I think we were successful against them, but I liked a lot how he set up his team, and was quite surprised that he had to go and had to leave then a couple of years ago, because I think he's done a more than decent job over there, and promising. Still relatively young coach, and right now, big stage, big opportunity for them, and I'm quite sure that he tries everything to grab this chance also with both hands. And so far, you have to say, impressive run of results on Premier League and Champions League level. And we'll see what the outcome is. But it's definitely more or less a very, very talented manager and promising on this position. Yes.
Thanks everyone.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.